Hey everybody, your old pal Bo here. The only man on YouTube with a face for radio and a voice for print. Coming at you today with an unboxing from our friends at Emperor's Choice. I know this is the Bo Paints mini show, but I also am an avid role player and player of role-playing games. Sometimes dungeon master and advocate of old school role play. A while back, our friend Shadow from the Shadow and Sun show turned me on to all things Arduin, and I've read a number of their books. I've painted some of their minis, and our friends George and Dave at Emperor's Choice, who are the current proprietors of the David A. Hargrave legacy and owners of the IP. I put in an order for them. I've got most of their stuff. I don't have everything, but I do have a lot of their stuff, and I put in an order, and I wanted to unbox it. I have a suspicion that there's more in this box than what I ordered, and the guys, if you've watched, they've made appearances on probably a dozen different streams promoting all things Arduin and the new Arduin Bloody Arduin game. They're also the reprint of the Arduin trilogy that's coming out in a box set later this year. I would encourage you to check out MCHO and order some stuff from them. I know they give away a lot of stuff, but please send them your hobby dollars. They are very deserving. They're the nicest guys, and they put out some top shelf products. The Arduin trilogy, although David Hargrave, he kind of did advertise it as a complete game, it ended up being more of a supplement and house rules for OD&D. I find it very compatible with BX and OSR systems. If you've played a game with me, I have slipped some Arduin, at least lore and IP in there regardless of the system. And again, I'm a big fan of especially the Arduin trilogy and the other books, and basically the Arduin Deckology. So without any further waffling, let's get to opening. I will be using a 10A scalpel blade. Again, if you do use a scalpel or a hobby knife, be very careful and do not cut toward you, but cut away. All right. And be careful not to cut the contents of the box, because that does defeat the purpose. Again, this is an extemporaneous, unedited, and as close to live as possible unboxing. In fact, the only preparation I did besides redact myself from the label was clear off some spot in the man cave where I've been painting my Death Guard army furiously. But I think I'll be cleansing the palette by painting some Arduin minis. I've been looking forward to painting some Arduin minis for a long time. The modern equivalent of Excelsior and paper in the recycling bin with you. Right. There it is. This is the one I'm really looking forward to. Vault of the Weaver. I think this is the first 4 Arduin adventures by David A. Hargrave reprinted into one cover. I know that there have been a number of reviews of this on YouTube. I know that Shadow had reviewed this about 3 or 4 years ago and said that he thought it was too powerful or too strong for level 1 characters. But that's what hirelings are for, right? meat shields. And the Arduin cards. The Artifact Weapon and Monster card set. I did order this also. This was the character sheets. I had the electronic copies of these, but I think there was the artifact cards that I really wanted. So let's just take a look at this. I'm going to rip that bag up just enough that I can get these out easily. So these were the new cards for the Portal to Adventure. I said I know I've got the electronic copies of these, and I did use these for the last Burrows and Borderlands game that I played, because it's got the stuff for the additional ability scores that are optional in Burrows and Borderlands. And the form-fillable PDF is available online, and I think for free, which is really awesome. These are really nice cardstock. These are very, and I love that sort of tea stained brown almost. Very old school, very reminiscent of white box. Let's see. So I've got 3 or 4 character sheets, 5, 6, 7 character sheets. A lot of character sheets. Ah, the monsters. Now these are very reminiscent of the old Arduin Adventures. You would cut these out and use these in your game. I don't know if I will cut these out or not. I might. I mean, they were meant to be used or meant to be played with, and there's no point in collecting them. In fact, I bought these specifically. There's my old pal, the Fraint. I may or may not have converted these to GURPS rolls a while back. There's a Deodanth. Cyclops, yep, there's the Deodanth. With a head. Cyclops. These are great. I love these. I love this old art. The Cobbit. The Kobold, Halfling hybrid. Should make these go the other way so we can look at the pictures first. Artifact Weapon and Monster card set. Arduin Artifact Weapon and Monster card set contains 72 cards you cut out. Compatible with fantasy role-playing games originally designed in old school terms, which is a fancy way of saying basically D&D pre-3rd edition, maybe pre-2nd edition AD&D. Definitely compatible with BX, BECMI, probably 1st edition AD&D, definitely OD&D. And there's your artifacts. Oh, man. These are lovely. The art, it just screams old school. I can almost smell the pizza. Oh, look at that. Artifact gauntlets. Oh, they're blank. A good DM would make their own. Armor. Another brazier. Yep. I loved how he spelled magic with a K, which has different meanings depending on where you are. I know Aleister Crowley spelled it either with a K or a CK. But all manner of swords, axes, Aztec war clubs, scimitars, rapiers, whips, clubs, mace or rod. Look at that. Oh, that is absolutely lovely. Oh, yeah, look at the guy with the ray gun. This is what you need more of in your D&D. Remember in Arneson and Gygax's D&D OD&D, I specifically remember a reference to Barsoom in the introduction. And if you're going to play some weird D&D, Mutant Future, I don't know, Embarrassing Borderlands, you need some ray guns. Oh, excuse me, I had to fight off a sneeze there. All right. Arduin, bloody Arduin. Love the stickers. Funky Frank, Pale L. I may or may not have a bunch of these stickers already set up in the man cave, on the paint box, on the paint wall. I do my best to give these guys my love as also, and I have no idea what this is. Emperor's Choice Game and Adventure Company. I can't get it out of the bag. I might have to put a little nick in the side of that bag to get it out too. There's your Funky Frank. Don't leave home without it, guys. 6.4 horsepower. That's pretty spicy. It's an art set. I'm going to take this off camera just a bit to open up the inner bag. And I will pass the contents through the view of the camera. Funky Frank. I'm going to put those up around town, you know, when you come to the intersection, and there's the back of the sign. You put a few of those in the old neighborhood. This is this a DM screen? This is art. Oh, these need to be framed. No explanation necessary. Looks like you have some of the local races featured in Arduin, and there are two pieces of art here. Should adjust those. Give you a good view. Look at that. These are going on the wall in the man cave for sure. And some small maps. I don't know if you know this, but I kind of, sometimes I mispronounce things on purpose when I play games, just so I can get a little rise. Looks like there's the Shenanigan Forest. There's the Weeping Willows. Or is it the Whomping Willows? There's a Nurgle Wood. This is original David A. Hargrave art. Yeah. The Lake of Mists. Speeder Isle. See, not to go off on a tangent too much, but one thing I've always liked about the possibility of world building, and if you look at some things like the Village of Hamlet or Keep on the Borderlands, you know, you start low, go slow, start with a village or a keep, and then sort of build around it as it goes. What we have here is history. Pure distilled history. Oh, look at these old school. They're so busy. If this was underground, it would never be able to support its own weight without a cave-in because the walls are so thin. But this is how, I mean, if you started out in the 70s or maybe 83 to 45, this is how we drew our dungeons out. You know, I wish I had mine, the dungeons I made when I was, 10 years old, and when I started playing with the Mensa Red Box. All right. Oh my goodness. I just ordered these and they just came in the mail. All right. I don't know if you've seen these. heard these advertised from the Central New York Convention, I think it was. This is sort of a preview for Arduin Bloody Arduin. Yeah, this was printed for the Central New York RPG Convention, and I remember our friend DM Bloodworth had a little shelf tour, but didn't really do an unboxing, and so I had ordered these, and it looks like they got shipped early. So I guess what had happened was that Dave and George sent a set before oops, I just tore the box. That's okay. I don't mind. As long as I don't tear the cards. I'm a little excited. They're supposed to have a sort of rules light preview for what we would expect to find in Arduin Bloody Arduin. So there's a barbarian. Arduin character card. Bar, cute. Bear the human barbarian. He's chaotic good. So does this mean that Arduin Bloody Arduin is going to have the 9-point alignment? I prefer the 3.1 plane alignment, but I know that the 9-point alignment is all the rage for folks that play alignment. But let's see, and so this has got the new, slightly different attributes. Demonite dagger. Demonite. Is that a sword? See item card. His equipment wealth. Boots, clothes, 2 weeks rations, 50 foot of rope, large pouch, 1 gallon wineskin, and 5 gold sovereigns. So I remember gold sovereigns, if you look at the Arduin Grimoire, and I've still got the old, 1 volume. They had multiple monies, and I had made up a conversion system for gold sovereigns, regular gold pieces. It ended up being really, it was non-decimal. It was like 2.4 gold pieces to a sovereign or something like that. It was, and there's a Demonite, Great Sword, Black Mithril. Is it a Deodanth Thief. And this must be his artifact weapon. There we go. Human magic user. Mage. Class Mage. Lawful neutral, level 5. Mage spell cards for spells. And there's his stick. Mage staff. And it's got magical properties. Mage spells. So yeah, this is sort of a preview for Arduin Bloody Arduin. And this is available for sale right now at Emperor's Choice, and I think it's $10. Shipping is high right now, so I would recommend putting in a bigger order. Make shipping worthwhile. Yeah, I'm not going to go over every single one of these, but I said this was printed up for CNY Con one of these days. I know that, like I said, our friends from the Midwest and the East Coast make this con every year, along with North Texas Con. We don't really have cons like this in Salt Lake because I think the distance between cities is too big. You drive all day in Utah and still be in Utah. The next closest city is like I don't know, Boise or Vegas, or Phoenix is a 12-hour drive, and that's the way I drive. All right, so I tore the box. I'm not so concerned with the box. These are going to go in my everyday use RP box. Okay. Oh, we love minis, and I do need. There you go. I specifically ordered this guy. This said to clear the palette. I'm going to take this guy and put him in the ultrasonic cleaner. Get any mold release agent or NAS that might prevent the primer from sticking. and then get him on a gaming base. Look at that. Well, these old minis are pretty flat, but the pose is still pretty dynamic. There's two of these Cthulhu dudes, one with a staff and one just casting the spell. I opted for the dude just casting the spell. He's copyright 2003, Emp Cho. He's white metal. He's pretty tall, so I might have to put him on a 32 mil base. Here's a Necromunda base just for, yeah. I won't put him on the Necromunda base though because he's got a really thick base already. So let's put him on a plain base, and then I guess cinematic base, and then put some wood putty around him to give him a little elevation. There you go. There's a 32 millimeter base from Cobalt Keep. A little bit of wood putty. Might have to. Yeah, he looks pretty. He's not leaning. I say don't need to file the base. I'll file it just a tiny bit so it gets better super glue grab. I'll cut off all that flashing. I might have him primed tonight just because. And then the giant spider. I think it's a scorpion. And though the swords, I remember these were also from the Central New York Con. And there's the the mom's sword, I guess. It was the dad. The dad built it, if you've seen the John Milius Conan. And I love the John Milius Conan. It's not exactly Conan, but for a popcorn flick, for a sword and sorcerer flick, it's a. Let's just say if it was on TV and I was scrolling past, I wouldn't change the channel. And there's the Atlantean sword. I always thought it was too short and too thick, but I guess that was because it was from the movies. That's great. That is really awesome. Okay. And that is it. So, look at the giant, the gray horror giant. This guy is going to be... I don't think I can base him. I don't think base is big enough. I'll have to put him in the ultrasonic cleaner too. He's going to need to be epoxied. There's no way regular crazy glue is going to hold this guy together. But I do have experience with some bigger minis. I have been. Yeah. He is definitely going to need to be epoxied and pinned. These are nice white metal. Very little mold lines. There's a trace of mold line right there. You scrape that with a hobby knife and then go over it with some fine grit sandpaper. And that will clean right up. This is, I am a mini guy. And even old metal minis. There's a tiny mold line. Right, I probably can't even see it. Right there. And right there. This is a clean casting. And right there, definitely cleaner than anything that I've seen in a long time for a Metal Mini. There's a little bit of mold. No, it's not even slip. It's just again, just a mold line. You can tell that line from there to there is very clean. There's no slipping there at all. This mold is obviously still in really good shape. I think it might be some mold release agent right there. So this guy's going to get a dunk for about half an hour in 50/50 water, and Ellie's Totally Awesome. Or green stuff if I don't have. Ellie's, I think I still have Ellie's Totally Awesome. If I don't, green stuff's fine. Or not green stuff. Simple green. Yeah, let's mix it. And then if green stuff, if there are any gaps, I'll fill that with 50/50 green stuff and 50/50 Milliput. Yeah, but I think this is going to go together pretty easily without. Yeah, I'll mix up some epoxy. And then file all that flat and then try to find a base big enough. Probably doesn't need a base, but it would just be easier on the tabletop if I did have a base. So yeah, this is going to go together nice. It definitely needs some epoxy. I've got some JB Weld. Two-part epoxy, and then find out which legs are which. Clean up that. Find out which legs are. I'm sure there are some pictures of this guy on the website I can find. It's metal is not really very porous. It's a good cast. It's obviously it's the lead-free pewter, so it's going to be really hard. If you've never worked with these, I mean, anyone. I don't think many people over the age of maybe 50 have even worked with metal minis that weren't, white metal. They switched to white metal in the 90s for good and bad. White metal holds the detail much better. It's crispier detail, but it does not bend. You try to bend this guy, it's just going to break. But, yeah, this is going to be fun to put together. I imagine it's going to be, well, they're numbered. Number 1. Is this number 2? Number 2. And then, where did the other ones go? They're keyed. That key goes into that key. And then this key, obviously I've got to clean off all the little doodads. And this key goes into this key. And then these 2 legs are the back legs. Okay. 3. And this one 4. Awesome. Yeah. Whoever sculpted this guy and then got it ready for assembly did a really good job. Definitely recommend using JB Weld on this. And then if you're going to base it, definitely pin it because it's not going to hold to a base otherwise. Although, because it's all keyed, I think I can probably epoxy this without having to pin it. I think some JB Weld will be fine. Or 5-minute epoxy, or whatever your epoxy choice is. All right. We're gonna get off. I'm gonna end this video. So definitely send some money to Emperor's Choice. I've been really happy with everything I've bought from them. This is my first experience with the Emperor's Choice. No, that's not true. I painted an Octorilla a while back. This is not my first experience with. So I painted this guy up. And he turned out pretty well. This is my paintings, obviously. I mean, gotten a lot better since then. I'd consider this even now 80% done. I'd like to do some more. I did do some OSL on the eyes. But I would like to put some texture on the, because it's very smooth, some texture on the tentacles. And maybe the beak, some highlights. But this guy was really fun to paint. It's really fun. So scale wise, you know, there has been some scale creep in minis. But this guy's pretty tall. Before I get off the air, let's compare him to I know I've got some stuff here it's painted and good to go. There's a Necromunda Orlock here. He's smaller than that. He'd be shooting up at him. Yeah, look at that. Get some, bad guy. Get some. Can't cast a spell. All right, getting silly. So let's see. We'll compare him to a Primaris Intercessor. Yeah. See, I mean, he's tall. He's very tall. Perfect. Let's see what else do I have to compare him to. Got he's obviously smaller than a Plague Marine. Let's see. I can compare him to Hungar. Yeah. All right. So that's it. This video's already gone half an hour. That's entirely too long. Send your money to Emperor's Choice. Buy Arduin Bloody Arduin when it comes out. Buy Arduin books now. Buy Arduin minis now. These are actually for metal. These are great. They've got a lot of detail. This guy is definitely going to get painted up ASAP. Maybe I'll paint him on a live stream, or I'll paint him on somebody else's live stream. Maybe I'll do them in the same lavender colors. I mean, what color's an octopus? I don't know. So I wish you well. I wish you peace. Thanks to Dave and George and Dave at Emperor's Choice. Please send them your money. Buy stuff from them. I do. I bought most of this, and I did end up buying a set of cards, and they had already sent me a set of cards. So I guess I'll have a second set of cards. So those were from CNYCon. I can't wait to actually pour over these and see what I can glean of the rules for the upcoming Arduin, Bloody Arduin. Yeah. I know they like to give stuff away, but if we don't buy stuff from them, they won't be able to stay in business. So, yeah, buy stuff from them because I buy stuff from them. Once again, this is Bo Paints Minis coming to you from the Man Cave, and I bid you peace.